Hey, everybody, welcome to Friday with Tom and James. We have an exciting show. We've had an exciting week. This is going to be rather fantastic. James, say hello to our viewers.
Hello, our viewers.
So you always surprise me. I never know exactly what you're going to say.
I'm like a powder keg. I'm ready to explode.
Yes, that's what I like. Okay, so just a reminder for everybody out there, listen, if you did not catch it yet, you can go to hopeforOurTimes.com. You can go to Rumble, and both of our Rumble channels, and wherever else you can find it. We did a video yesterday. We call it Too Hot for YouTube, but we can't say anything about it because, well, it's just the way the world happens to be right now with us. So go there.
We'll get a steer right.
It will put us probably out of business. So listen, you can check that out if you have not done it yet. And also if you have, make sure that you share it too, because share it where you can. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go.
I am.
Okay. Los Angeles, here's the first one. Police Commission backs a 12% increase in LAPD budget for next year. And you know what I found out? It's not just Los Angeles that's increasing their budget. I believe Portland's increasing their police budget. All these have said defund the police. Guess what? It's not working out so well. Are you surprised?
The 12% increase is ridiculous. Okay, let me just simply say this. The Police Protective League doesn't have any guts, okay? And I get it. That's because they still work for the city, and I get all of that stuff. But they need to stand up for their police officers. These guys should not be getting a 12% increase. They should be getting close to a 50% increase. And I'll tell you why. Because the defunding that went on by their irresponsible, demonically inspired mayor actually took a lot more money away from them than that. Okay. That would be like me going to you and saying, you know what, Tom,
I'm tracking with you.
You got $100, bro. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to take $75 from you right now. So all you have is $25. But guess what? I'm going to give you 12% back.
Yeah, I'm glad you said. I didn't realize that. I thought it was 12% over their previous budget. I didn't realize it was after it was defunded.
But their previous
it's taking away
defunded.
Almost. I'm going to take away 5-year candy bars, but here I'm going to really bless you. I'm going to give you one back. Well, this explains this next article, which says this: Los Angeles Police Union boss warns tourists to stay away from Los Angeles as city descends into third world dystopia. And
again, it just and forgive me for saying this, but it goes right back to the cowardly behavior of some of these guys. Because the reality of it is if this mayor had an ounce of integrity, if he cared about these police, if he cared about the city, then he would have enough guts to say, not only are we increasing money to the LAPD, but you better watch your back if you're a bad guy. If you go in and you decide that you're going to rip us off, you're going to do this evil, you're going to riot. It's not a racist term. It's a real term. You're going to go and you're going to steal. You're going to lie. Look, who do I know that's a stealer and a liar? Satan. If you're going to go and you're going to mimic your father, the devil, we're coming after you. And that's what we should be doing. But no, they're not doing that. They're saying, oh, well, if you come to our city, just hide because they going to get you.
Yeah, you know what? You just look at it. I mean, when you have the police saying, don't even come here, you know what? I mean, you start looking at cities and you say, you know, you start finding out, I'm not going to go out at night. What's this? Yeah, go ahead.
These same spineless cowards that are saying defund the police, they're the same cowards that not only are they having personal protective details attached to them, they're doing it on our dollar.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what they're doing. Okay, well, here's this. So in nearly every nation, I referenced this on our Tuesday program, in nearly every nation on earth around the globe, governments are waging war against their citizens. So when we look at it, we talked about the defund the police over the last year, believing it was intentional. They want to wreck things. They're creating chaos. It was Rahm Emanuel who used that phrase so well. Don't let a crisis go to waste. Hillary Clinton uses that. It's this whole left thing. Let's make sure there's a crisis. Let's make sure there's chaos. I remember I think it was 2017, maybe 2016, when I did a report on this. It was George Soros said he was going to spend $5 billion to destroy America. And I had the news story way back then. I can't find it. I've looked for it several times, but I remember reporting on it and saying $5 billion. And I remember around 2018 thinking, well, I haven't really seen it happen yet. 2019, you can see little things. Guess what? 2020 came along and it looks like that's what's happened. Because everywhere.
$5 billion to destroying America.
Yeah.
Here's to saying that America will destroy him. How about we pray for that?
Oh.
That is, it's ridiculous. The man who most of his fortune was made on the backs of solid, good American people. And now he's paying money to do what?
Well, don't forget that. He got his beginning, he's Jewish, by selling fellow Jews to the Nazis.
Yeah.
So if he was willing to compromise in such an evil way as that, and now he's in his 90s, I mean, you think about the trajectory he set for his life. So it's no wonder. Oh. And then we find out, I think the DA in LA County, isn't he a Soros guy?
That's gone.
Isn't he a Soros guy?
By Soros. He was.
Yeah. So we have you start finding out in these cities, these defund the police movement. You start finding out where the funds come from, and you start finding they're out from that society. I can't remember what the society that George Soros founded society is called. Foundation is, and you look, all interesting. You follow the money trail. That's where we are. So they want to defund. They want to crash everything. Got to destroy America. That's happening. But as this article says, it is happening all around the globe. Now, we know China's always been, they're commies. Russia's their thing. We understand that with Muslim countries. But what we are watching, as we've talked about many times, it is the Western world it is just all going this same direction.
That's
the
exactly
entire
right,
Western world is going this direction.
It's exactly right. And we're living in a very, very dark time right now, watching this kind of stuff happening and watching people who actually will allow that to happen. And again, I just go back to the people that say they're in ministry that are, we should stand up for justice and so on and so forth. They don't know what they're talking about. No. And it's sad because we're watching our world fall apart. And this is a direct result of a bunch of cowards. And by the way, these same cowards that stand on their pedestal and say this, you know what I would really love to do with one of those guys? I would love to stick them in a police uniform, literally gun badge, the whole 9 yards. All of these, hijab wearing, crazy people in the house. I would love to take one of them, stick them in a police uniform, badge, everything, and throw them in the South Alley of Gage in between Colmar and El Celinda and Southeast Los Angeles and see how long they last, right? Yeah. Or go drop them off in the Imperial Courts projects or in the center of Watts or in downtown Chicago or in Philly. Just drop them off and see how they survive. Maybe they might change their mind about how hard of a job the police have and how hard they work to keep us safe every day. When it's out there raining, when it's snowing, when the weather is super hot and they're wearing bulletproof vests that make it even more hot, when they are literally working on just a little bit of fumes left and they're going out there and they're protecting us, these people, these cowards, these spineless cowards continue to speak negatively of them. It is absolutely crazy. Let me just say something. The police are not hunting black people. You know who are hunting black people? These politicians who continue to stand to support abortion. 3% of the childbearing population in this country are black women, yet they account for 50% of the abortions that are taking place. 1,500 black babies every single day are being killed. 1,500. If you really care about that stuff, you wouldn't be talking about defund the police. You wouldn't be talking about any of that stuff. You would be defending their lives.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and also you read the polls of black communities, they're saying predominantly they want more police because they're recognizing even what's happening into their own neighborhood. So you have the abortion problem, then you have the crime within these communities. Why is it that the media turns a blind eye? They pretend like, well, there's no problem there in Chicago with the amount of black people that are killed there, or there's no problem in Los Angeles. They just completely ignore it because it doesn't fit their narrative.
Put it this way. You'll have more people, more black men that will die in Chicago over the next 3 months, more in 3 months that have so-called died at the hands of police in the last 15 years.
Yeah. And it's absolutely awful, but they're being used as a tool. And that's what's happening.
Exactly right.
And the time is going to come and they say, okay, we're done with this. We've got what we wanted out of that. And now we're done with you. And that's what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. And all you Rick Warrens and Brian Brodersons and Andy Stanleys and all you other cowardly woke pastors, check this out. They're coming for y'all first. I'm telling you that right now. They're going to come for you guys first.
It's
right.
It's just absolutely wicked to see what's happening. But these things are a global phenomenon. Well, I wouldn't call it a phenomenon. It's happening globally. It's intentional. Here's another one. It's regarding that thing, inflation. I knew it was.
You know the thing. You know the thing.
Oh, that sounds bad. Yeah. Now, oh boy. Now that's going to be played over and over and over again by people. So there we go. So the thing, inflation. We talked about it on Tuesday. That's way worse. So you read the official reports that are coming from Washington. They're saying, well, inflation's actually only 6.8%. Well, they say only. Okay, 6.8% is exceptionally bad. It is way higher than that. Way higher than that. And okay, this is just lately. So we're only in December. You wait until, say, April rolls around, folks. This is exceptionally bad. And it's actually more like 19% or something like that.
That's right. Yeah. So think about this. The heuristics used to calculate the current CPI have nothing to do with the real indicators that exist and did exist back in the day. For example, and I get the fact that you have to use a slightly different heuristic to make that calculation because the consumer price index will change based on certain intangible goods and services, right? I get that, right? When you're dealing with things like ad revenue from social media and so on and so forth. But all of those things get calculated based on the pushback from the GDP. So let me just simply say the calculation that they used to determine the CPI back in the 70s, if you were to use that same methodology to calculate the CPI, we would not be at the 7.6% they say that we are here. We would literally be at almost 20%.
Yeah.
We have never in United States history seen so bad of a rate of inflation ever take place.
Yeah, this bad. And again, everybody, you need to wrap your mind around this because this is just the beginning. And they know it.
Oh, yeah.
So they know it. Listen, they're trying to tell us, well, just look the other way like they are at the cities. Don't look at the crime here. Don't look at the inflation over here as they are destroying everything. James, when I look at the defund the police movement, listen, the same thing. And you look what's happening with the military. This is about getting their brown shirts in there also. It's about reshaping the Western world, because they've got to reshape the Western world. So that's what's going on here. And then you look at inflation. Listen, it will destroy the middle class. Absolutely destroy. And it's going to destroy other people who are not going along with the system that have wealth.
100%.
They're out to get them. They're just out to destroy everybody. Okay, 100%. So I'm going to ask you this. Okay, so I have a viewer from New York. He sent me this. If at $75 a barrel, gasoline cost is $3.50 per gallon. He says when it hits $232 a barrel, it will give you $10.82 a gallon.
Ugh.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the reality of it. And I don't know if people are understanding that. You know, go to the store and start calculating. You know, some people are waking up to it, but things are not looking good. But I do think it's intentional. Okay, I'm going to throw it here. You look at the rider on the black horse. James, I believe, and you believe, that the rider, well, I think you believe the rider on the black horse, this is all intentional. The four horsemen of the apocalypse,
Absolutely.
They are intentional.
100%.
So I look at that. And do not harm the oil or the wine. Okay, so what do we have with the black horses? John says, I saw pair of scales in his hand, and then the rider on the black horse, and the scales give a picture of an unbalanced economy, where it's a day's wage for a loaf of bread, but do not harm the oil or the wine. The middle class, it describes a world where the middle class is going to be destroyed. And so I think of this. James, you and I have talked a little bit about what's going on in China with Evergrande. The Chinese financial woes they are going to hit the world. They're not just going to hit China, they're going to hit the world. I'm just looking at this going, my concern, James, is that people are not paying enough attention to it. I think God is giving us every indicator that we need if we would pay attention to say, you just got to prepare yourself. Don't get crazy, but you got to be well prepared, and you got to be in the Word too.
Amen. And I think that's the driving force, right? Is knowing what the Word says, and what the Word teaches us is the determining variable, right? It's the very thing that motivates us to do those things, right? I think that's a very important thing.
Yeah. Okay. I want to ask you about Israel before we wrap things up here. So Netanyahu said this in the Times of Israel: it's a grave mistake if Israel updated the United States before striking Iranian sites. Letting the Biden administration and the U.S. Congress know, I guess, if the Bennett administration in Israel has done this, hey, we want to go after Iran. If that may lead to what happened with Israel, they wanted, was it a couple of B-2 bombers or something like that? I'm not sure what it was they wanted. The U.S.
They wanted extra tanks for refueling as well.
That's what it was. That's what it was. It's refueling tanks. And they're slated to be delivered, I think, in the spring, but they said, no, we want them now, which leads me to believe Israel wants to do something now. Well, the U.S. said, you ain't going to get them now. Tough. So it leads me to believe Netanyahu is reading into this correctly, that they did say, hey, we want to go after Iran. We need you to give us weapons. And the Biden administration says, not going to happen. Good luck. We hope Iran uses nukes against you. Oh, did you see this one the other day? That the Biden administration, or Biden himself, compared settlements in the West Bank to Iran having nukes?
No way.
Yes, he did.
Okay. I'm sorry, but Empty Head got trained to say that by somebody. I'm sorry.
Empty Head. I got to find this. I know I have it in here somewhere.
I would love to hear the details of that one.
I'm going to find it. You can keep talking. I'll find it here. Here it is.
Well, come on.
I found it. I found it. Jerusalem Post. Obsessed. Come on. Yes, I'll use cookies. Okay, let me go already. Obsessed. Biden administration puts settlements on par with Iran nukes. Jerusalem Post. The public security minister, Omer Bar-Lev, spoke with U.S. Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs, Victoria Nuland, on several topics regarding Palestinians. The Biden administration, on par with nuclear threats of Iran in its discussions with Israeli officers, multiple Israeli diplomatic sources said in recent days. Multiple sources have said the same thing. They spoke up amid a public row over comments Interior Minister made when he tweeted a photo of his meeting with Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs, Victoria Nuland. So apparently it really happened. He explained that she was interested, among other things, in settler violence and a way to reduce regional tensions and strengthen the Palestinian Authority.
Nukes.
Building a house in a land that you own.
Right.
And saying
that's nuclear weapons.
That's that's equivalent to Iran saying we're going to nuke Tel Aviv. This goes back to where we are with America, and the treatment of Israel is just okay. So we've never, ever had a president that has treated Israel this bad. I mean, as messed up as some presidents have been in the past.
He's the worst. Bush was bad. Obama got worse.
Bad. This is bad. This is worse than anybody's been.
100%.
Wow. That's just awful.
100%.
Okay. I had a few more things I want to bring up, but we're out of time, James. So I know it's very short today.
Wow, that went by really
It
fast.
did. Like I said, I only had 20 minutes today. I'm sorry. Will you forgive me?
I'm not the one to forgive you, bro. I think people are not going to be happy, but send Tom the emails.
I hope they forgive me.
No one's going to be mad. Come on, bro. We're doing the
Yeah, we are.
yesterday. Remember we did?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Everybody got to
So
see that.
listen, just a reminder again, everybody, go and watch what James and I did yesterday. So yeah, but like I said, we just can't say anything about it. That's just not here.
Yep.
We can't, but you need to watch it.
Yep.
Okay, you got any final words for everybody?
Guys, open up our eyes. Come on. It's time to be bold. It's time to take a stand. It's time to fight for righteousness. God's called us to this, guys.
Amen. The time is short. Your video on Tuesday was titled Like a Thief in the Night. Was that it?
Yeah, that was the live show that we did together. He's coming like a thief in the night.
Great title. Remember that. He is coming. When they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. Oh, one last thing. Did you see the statue, the UN, the leopard's head with the eagle wings, the guardian of peace and security? Interesting. But I do caution people because it's not an exact replica of what Daniel says. So there's some missing parts there. Book of Revelation, it's different than that description. But what strikes me is the thought process that's behind it. And the guardian of peace and security, the UN. And you're looking going, I just find it all fascinating.
Yep. And bro, I am telling you, we are seeing, someone asked me about the statue. I'll be very quick about this. Somebody asked me my thoughts about the statue. And I said, I'm nowhere near concerned about the statue as I am about Prince Charles. And I did a video called The Sky is Falling.
Yeah.
I did that the week before. Anyway, just go look at my live shows. It's called The Sky is Falling. And if you have not watched that video, you should watch it because your mind's about to be blown.
Well, your mind's going to be blown if you watch what James and I posted on Thursday.
That's true too, because we talk about that.
Yeah,
as well.
it's in there plus more too.
A lot more.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there you go. Because I think if you watch my video from Wednesday, you'll also go ooh oh
yeah.
ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, got to go, everybody. Thank you. Hey, hopeforOurTimes.com is my website. I would ask you, hey, can you guys do us a favor? Because this is huge, especially with the challenges James and I are facing from the tech giants, to like and share. It doesn't cost anything to like and share our videos, and we kind of are in just an interesting, precarious position with them. So we would greatly appreciate that. It is free, and it would help out tremendously to get the gospel out there and to get the messages that we do out there.
Yep.
We are definitely being challenged in this area.
Amen. Okay. And it's time to fight the good fight.
It is time to fight the good fight. It's a very easy way to fight the good fight. Like and share. Very easy. Thanks, everybody. God bless you, and see you soon.